Hi everyone, welcome to Felt Sense. I'm Ekaterina Leonova. I'm a PhD and transformational coach. I want to talk to you about something that has been on my mind for a while now. Did you notice how many people are trying to meditate these days? For some, it goes well, for some, it's less successful. From time to time, usually early in work together, my clients would ask, do you think I should start meditating? That's a good question. So, what's your intention? Usually, I ask them back. And what kind of results do you expect? If I meet someone who says, I meditate today, it basically tells me almost nothing. And let me explain why. Let me dive into that. Meditation became a go to practice, and somehow it is a universal answer to a universal modern problem of being stressed and anxious. I want to be clear. I'm not against meditation. I have my own practice, and I have clients for whom it really works. And there is a body of research that shows the benefits of meditation. So I'm standing for all of that. But also, I don't think it's a universal answer to all the problems. And when something becomes a default, like meditation became, we stop asking, what is that for, really? So, what is it that we actually know about meditation? As usual, I would like to share a bit of research done on the topic, on the practice of meditation, that covers the gap between what meditation is sold as and what it actually does. I want to go through it from four different angles: neuroscience, psychology, religion, as meditation comes from there, and behavioral practice. So, findings from neuroscience. For about a decade, there was a story published that meditation rewires your brain in 8 weeks. You probably saw the headlines promising you gray matter growth, hippocampus thickening, and amygdala shrinkage. And this story is mostly wrong. So, most cited early studies back then, the ones from around 2011 2012, were small. The bigger and better controlled studies were run, and they show that structural changes were not really there. They were failing to replicate the results of the smaller studies. Research from Richard Davidson's lab at Wisconsin, one of the most serious meditation labs in the world, has not been able to confirm the dramatic 8 week brain changes as it was early suggested. What holds up? Long term meditators, people with 10,000 hours of practice or more, show real differences in their attention and emotional regulation networks. But we're talking about decades of practice and not 8 week meditation challenge. The neuroscience answer is meditation can change your brain, but not on the timeline that is promised to us. Findings from psychology, and here we have the strongest evidence. Mindfulness based programs, the structured 8 week courses that are studied in clinical trials, do help with anxiety, depression, and stress. The effects are small to moderate, comparable to other psychological treatments. They're not significantly better, but they still small to moderate. They hold the small to moderate effects. Mindfulness based cognitive therapy has good evidence for preventing relapse and recurrent depression. Moderate evidence for chronic pain, too, not by reducing pain itself, but changing your relationship to it. Same for insomnia. Also, modest effect on blood pressure. What does not hold up is meditation does not reliably make you more compassionate or kind. And one more thing that almost no one mentions is that somewhere between 8 and 25% of regular meditators experience meaningful negative effects such as anxiety spikes, depersonalization, sleep disruption, and dissociation. There is There is a study that has been documenting it for over a decade. So meditation is not always good for you. The findings from philosophy and religion. The contemplative traditions that where the meditation emerged, the Buddhism, Hindu yoga, Christian contemplative practice, Sufi practice, did not invent meditation as a stress reduction tool. They invented it as a path towards liberation, awakening, union with God, or insight into the nature of self. In the Buddhist tradition specifically, meditation was always one of the eight elements of the path. So it was supported by ethical conduct, right speech, and right lifestyle. It was also supported by community and a teacher. We lifted meditation out of the context and kept only the technique. So some scholars, for example, Ronald Purser, he's the sharpest one of them, he calls it mindfulness. So technique without ethics. Contemplative traditions would tell you something the wellness industry will not tell us today. They would tell you that meditation done seriously is not supposed to make you comfortable. It's supposed to confront you with impermanence, with the constructed nature of yourself, with the suffering you are participating in, and your patterns that lead to your suffering. So, if meditation is making your life smoother and the problems quieter, the traditions would ask with some skepticism, probably, if you're really meditating. Let's look at behavioral science findings. Um, what does and what meditation does or does not do to our behavior? That angle gets least attention, but as I work with clients, for me, it's probably the most important. So, behavioral change research is pretty clear that feeling calmer does not reliably translate into acting differently. There is a thing that's called intention behavior gap, and it still stays there even if you meditate. If you meditate every morning, you feel grounded, you set a clear intention for the day, you can still go throughout the day exactly as before without changing anything. Um, Meditation is also famously bad at adherence. Many app users drop off without weeks, and the people who stick with it tend to have the temperament for it, like a calmer, more interceptive character. And in terms of what does correlate robustly with well being, we're always going down to unsexy basics that outperform meditation every time. That's sleep, movement, social connection, and healthy diet. The Harvard study of adult development, which has been running for 80 years, points to relationships as the strongest predictor of long term well being and not interior practice such as meditation. Again, meditation has its place, but behavioral science would say if you're using it as a substitute for harder and more relational and more embodied work, you're using the wrong tool. So, when a client tells me they meditate, what I'm really curious about is which version are you using and what effects are you expecting from it? How meditation became the default or go to practice. Um, the rise of meditation fashion is quite curious, and it happened because few things merged at the same time. So mindfulness was separated from its religious roots in about 70s, 80s, and it was packaged into clinical programs for studies. Those studies were promising in the beginning. So the momentum was gaining, so the mindfulness meditation practice started to gain the momentum. By 2010s, meditation was the rare wellness practice that also has that was also evidence based, at least on specific lenses. Um, Corporate HR liked it, schools liked it, doctors accepted it, and apps made it free for people. So meditating became available and normal, and it's a big thing. But somewhere in there, it also became kind of a shorthand saying I meditate became a way to say, I'm the kind of person that works with myself, I have an inner life. It almost gives you a status and default image of a conscious person. So when a client tells me that they meditate, here are the questions I have. What are you trying to solve? What were you trying to solve when you started? Did it work? And if it didn't, what did you do then? Did you change practice? Did you keep doing the one that wasn't working for some reason, like just grinding it? How does it feel in your body when you sit with it? Calm, empty, quietly braced? Do you come out of it more in contact with your life or more able to tolerate not being in contact with it? Are you using it as a practice or as an avoidance? Because these can look the same. When something hard comes up in your day, does meditation help you stay with it or help you avoid it, slide past it? What would you do if I told you that for a specific thing you came in with, a relationship that is falling apart, a job that you cannot leave, a body image issue, that meditation might not be the right tool? Sometimes what you need is more of something else. It can be a contact, it can be a movement, it can be a real conversation with another person, with a friend. You might just need a nap. You might need to grieve, to walk. You might need a lawyer or a different manager. You might need to go and take the action. Sometimes meditation is exactly what's needed, and sometimes it will not help much. I again want to be clear here. I don't want to talk you out of a real practice. If meditation is doing real work in your life, if it gets you through the morning, if it keeps you out of depression, if it helps you living with chronic pain, please keep going. The evidence is on your side, and I am obviously on your side too. But if it became a default answer to what you do with yourself, like some practice, because everybody does that, the question I want you to ask yourself is that what am I actually using it for? Will it help really? And if the answer is I don't know, think about this. What else might help? Thank you for listening. If it landed for you or if it didn't, I'd love to hear it. And if you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, please feel free to send it to them.